Where the hell have you people been?
What took you so long?
We've been here the whole time.
Oh my God. You people.
I don't even know what to say. All right. Thanks for joining us this morning. Make sure we're live here, Ronnie.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. I think so.
Here we are.
There it is.
Where the hell have you people been?
Yep.
Been here the whole time.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to the show. This is Sunday morning Mass.
It's almost Sunday afternoon. It's almost...
Yeah, no. On the East Coast, it's only 11, so it's still morning. We have to say a big thanks to Sasha and to Sean. I'm sorry, to Jason. And boy, that'd be interesting, huh? In light of what recent events. Jason, thank you very much, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. We understand what's wrong. We will
We'll do better next time.
Yeah, that's all I can say. You know, I mean, we had done everything right except, this is important,
One little thing.
the software for the camera I left open and running, and so that was controlling our mic and camera. Let me ask you this. How is the audio this morning in the live chat? All right, dude, where's my cop and DJ?
There, right there.
Present. You're dead to me now, Lou. Thank you, Jason. I'm sorry. I really am sorry.
Oh, wow. Because that was kind of a faux pas.
It was.
Yeah.
Jason is the one that got us back. What's happening to my voice here? Jason is the one that got us back on and told us what the problem was.
Sean did nothing.
Sean, no, he's not even on the chat this morning that I can see. Sounds great. Good job, Jason. Absolutely, Juno. I'm sorry, Jason. Again, I apologize. All right, so welcome to Mass this morning. You all may be seated.
Yeah.
It's been kind of a
Hopefully
stressful
they haven't
morning
been
here.
standing for the last hour.
No one told them all rise.
Okay,
I don't
all
think.
right.
Great
Good.
sound, they say. And the picture, is it 1980, 1020 to you folks? It looks like it. And we've even got a church door background today.
Yeah.
So, all right, some things that, I don't even have my internet open here to talk about what I've got planned. Ronnie, I'm going to tell you right now that in our weekly Mantasy picks, right off the bat, I won last week.
Hard to imagine.
Yeah, I know.
That's because I had Slim Jim.
Right.
I had beef teriyaki jerky,
Mm-hmm.
and I had peanut M&Ms.
When I taught, well, funny you should mention that because our topic this week is going to be candy.
Oh.
Okay, and that's a very broad category.
Yes.
It encompasses everything from candy corn. Ooh, I hate that crap.
That's the worst.
It is. Who eats that?
My wife.
Who gives it out?
My wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not I.
That's why we get egged after Halloween.
Probably. Yeah, and again, I'm sorry, eggs aren't cheap. I know. So we'll be doing candies. You guys can suggest those before we vote here. I've got a couple in mind. Ronnie does. I think this is the first he's hearing of it.
Yes.
My wife said to me, "Did you pick Slim Jim?"
Oh.
I said, "That son of a bitch, Ronnie picked it in the first round."
Had to have. That was my first pick. I knew if you don't get the first pick on that one, you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? It's right around the corner. Let's on this show today, we're going to talk about anything and everything that you would like to hear about or talk about. So we're going to take your suggestions right here as we go. We'll try to keep up with them. Jason says the audio sounds good. Okay, good, because
Nice.
the playback was crappy last week, and we're not sure why. We did make an adjustment. We also, Jason, took it off of autofocus.
Yes.
And I think that may have something to do with it. So Halloween is right around the corner. A lot of people really get into Halloween, Ronnie.
Yeah.
I think maybe when you're younger, but a funny story. One year I was working at a radio station and I was hosting the Halloween bash. And the costume company or shop that we worked with, they had already picked out my costume and I was going to go as Elvis.
Nice.
Now, here's the thing. Number one, I hate having my picture taken.
Yeah. Because
And
it steals your soul.
I think it does. I think it does.
You
Um,
and the
I
Aborigines.
know, right? We have a lot in common, more than you'd imagine. So going as Elvis, everybody wanted their picture taken with me. I spent the whole night, and then somebody came as a vampire in an actual coffin.
Oh, dang.
So the vampire got out of the coffin, and they wanted Elvis in there so they could take pictures of dead Elvis.
That's a little morbid.
I
Yeah.
know it is.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, we went to, we stayed at the Silver Legacy in Reno.
Hmm.
They had an Elvis impersonator that was there one night, and he was obviously staying in the hotel. And the poor guy was trying to ride the elevator up, and everybody that got off the elevator
Uh,
wanted, hey, hey, can I get a picture with you? Sure.
yep.
They take a picture, then he misses elevator.
Right.
So I felt bad for him, so I didn't ask for a picture.
Uh, as far as trick or treaters go, in our neighborhood, there's really only about 30 kids tops. And my wife and I, this show is nothing if it's not about honesty. We just turn out all the lights and we watch TV in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And the dogs chase away the trick or treaters. There's no chance anybody's going to get any candy from our house. But, you can try. You get a lot of trick or treaters?
We probably get about 60 or 80.
Uh-huh.
And we give out I can't remember what they're called. It's a ring that's got hard candy on it.
Yeah, I know what those are. Something pop.
Ring pop.
Ring pop.
It's a
That's
ring
what it is.
pop.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
give
yeah.
out ring pops, and we give out candy bars. We give out the little fun size. What are those? Milky Ways.
Oh, yeah.
And Snickers. We give out the little fun size
I
Snickers.
think that's probably the most popular candy of Halloween, the Snickers.
Well, you know what? If you're not yourself, you have to have a Snickers. I love those commercials, by the way.
They're so creative.
Yeah.
My favorite was the Roseanne Barr commercial.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a really good
to
one.
be sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so coming up a little bit later in the program, we will be picking maybe we should make it Halloween candy.
There you go.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Kind of seasonal?
Yeah.
I don't know where you are watching the show from today, but we thank you for your time. Weather here in Sacramento, California is going to be dandy. In fact, we believe that yesterday was probably the last near 100 or over day that we're going to have for the year. The forecast for today is like 82 degrees.
Yeah.
Ron.
It's hard to imagine that big of a swing. Normally it's, like 4 or 5 degrees at the
Yeah.
most. And then possibly on Monday, tomorrow, could get rain.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too.
So I got some tools out in the backyard I have to bring in.
All right, well, Rusty Nipples is not real happy with us.
I know. He's like, we waited for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you did. You'll notice that in our chat, there's very little Fen talk, yet we are addressing each and every one of the messages as we get them, as we can. So if you have something that you'd like to talk about, Fen related, if we have some words on that, we'll be glad to do it.
Yeah.
People really should know that we love Mr. Fen. We love the treasure hunt.
Yep.
We love the Fen community. There's a few people that kind of stick out that we're not particularly fond of, but that's neither here nor there. But our show is just not about Forrest Fen, and
neither of us are searchers or have ever searched,
right.
or really do much research.
Although we may be going on a search very soon. Remember?
There is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about this last Sunday.
I think I found the blaze.
You think you did?
Yeah. So we're going to work from the blaze forwards and backwards.
Forwards and backwards. That
Right.
sounds like what we would do.
Yes.
Dude, question room. Is the poem metaphoric or is it literal? I would say metaphoric. There you go, Davio, sorry.
And you know what? I think it's a mixture. I think there are some pieces in there that are actual things, but you know what? I mean, and I've been watching a lot of Fen material. In fact, I've been watching Jason's show.
Mhm.
I watched Sean's show. There's a couple more that don't follow us, and so I won't give them any props. But there's no real consensus
Hang on,
even
Jimmy Fast. Go ahead.
where warm waters halt. So if you can't solve the first clue, you can't solve any of them.
Ronnie, I think I know where warm waters halt.
Well, I know they halt in my bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Once the water heater runs out.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
um,
You know what? You may be onto something there. Maybe you shouldn't have put it out there. Maybe somebody else is gonna take that clue and run with it and find indulgence or not. We'll see.
we'll
Okay.
see.
Let's see. So Davio or Sakar says, or at Davio, or is it both metaphoric and liberal?
And that's my thing.
Literal. Sorry.
And Sasha, she's on to me.
Yeah.
She says he's been hoeing around some of the chat rooms. She knows. She sees me.
Ronnie.
I have been hoeing around.
Yeah. Okay. So liberal Lou, Ronnie and I, we take a particular stand on this issue. And since you brought it up, and since we said we were going to address these comments, I will tell you that if you haven't already seen it, don't bother. Okay, if you have seen it, here's how I feel.
We're sorry.
The damn puppet looks just like me.
And mine, the haircut is spot on.
Right, and you're a little bit perturbed about the eyes.
The eyes are kind of beady.
They're kind of Muppet-like.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
very beady eyes. I'm not
So-
crazy about my beady eyes.
But he got my glasses.
You know what? At least you could make them the brilliant blue that they are.
Yeah,
How about that?
yeah.
Come on,
You know
man.
what, Ronnie? Your eyes are dreamy.
They are.
They really are.
I can't argue
Mhm.
with you.
So it's just such a horribly produced, horribly written, horribly creative or uncreative. It's just, what is it about?
Yeah,
It's he's just showing off a puppet.
right.
He does the same voice for me as he does for you.
Notice that.
And have you noticed that all of the puppets kind of sound like Bill Clinton?
Tiny little bit.
Yeah. That dress though, Lou, Sasha says.
Yeah.
I know. You know what?
Yeah.
It's in the back of my car. Somebody noticed it the other day.
No, he's talking about the dress that you were wearing on the puppet
Oh, that
show.
dress on the puppet
Yes.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, that's real
Because
creative
your legs
too.
they're looking good.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They might be a little too tan and they're pure white, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. It is a map. Okay, so we're just saying that, for the same reason we did not have him on our show is the same reason that puppet liberal Lou is just as bad.
Yeah.
Um,
You know what? If he had, because he's probably not. I mean, what he's doing with the puppets is cool, but his content, it's not funny. He needs
No.
somebody that's maybe a slightly bit more creative in that regard, maybe to come up with his script,
mhm,
and then I might be all right.
yeah, kind of ridiculous.
I'd watch.
And
I wouldn't
alabaster white legs, yeah. And you know what? You want to see him?
There. Those aren't socks. Oh well.
There you go.
What you really you need some stripes on your socks. You
Yeah.
can tell where one starts and the other one ends.
It's a good thing they don't make flesh color socks. So that's how I do the show with slippers on.
You need to get a tan.
Yeah.
They're like not even baby butt white yet. They're whiter than that.
Alabaster white. That's
They
what I
are.
would say.
Yeah.
All right. One of the things I wanted to talk about today was that Eddie Money passed away
Oh, I know.
at the age of 70. And there wasn't a whole lot of time that went by from when they announced that he was ill to the time that he died. I had the pleasure of hanging out with Eddie Money 2 or 3 times over the course of my radio career. And in recent years, I'm known to kind of have made fun of him in the sense that every time he'd play in Sacramento and I'd see him at the venue, every single line would be, I got 2 tickets to paradise, Sacramento. And he said, how you feeling, Sacramento? He must have said it 25 times
Yeah.
in the 35 minutes that he was on stage.
Well, and you know what? He was not a born entertainer.
No.
He was actually, his dad was a police officer, and he was a police officer for a couple years before somebody said, hey, dude, you can make a lot more money singing
Hmm.
than this cop business.
Yeah. There's no
And
future in the cop business, right, Ronnie?
right.
Yeah, no future.
And so, and he did. He had a pretty amazing voice. I really, his voice was, you know, totally unique.
Hmm.
And so I think that's what really carried him. And his music was good. At least, his 8 or 10 songs
Right.
that get all the radio
Well,
play.
the songs that I really enjoyed the most were some of the deep cuts on the albums. Like the first song that I ever heard of Eddie Money was Rock and Roll Star. And
Not
that was
familiar with it.
never a hit.
Yep.
And I was like, at that time, I was living that song. Want to be a rock and roll star. So, Ronnie, I don't think I've ever shared this story with you about Eddie Money, but many, many years ago, I think it was about 1986 or so, when he had hits like Take Me Home Tonight
Right.
and Give Me Some Water, and
Oh yeah.
songs like that. Well, I was working at a top 40 radio station. It was FM 102.5 in Sacramento here, and they were still in Woodland, California. Ironically, I work in Woodland again. Um, and so this was at the time when all the talk was that Eddie Money had changed his life. He had kicked his drug problem, which in fact was heroin, which I honestly, God, I don't think I'd wish that on anybody, but Eddie went through it. So, and he remarried, and was starting a family and was settling down. And everybody thought this rock and roll icon, was kind of selling out to commercial music. So we were in Woodland, and Eddie was going to come on, and all we could talk about was how he's changed his life, and he didn't do drugs anymore. And so he came on the show. He stayed with us for about 25 minutes or so. We stayed live with him, and then he left. I was seated at this chair. Eddie Money was seated here, and my friend Gruesome Gary Moore was on this side. So Eddie was in the middle of us. So Eddie says, "Okay, thank you very much, Sacramento. We'll see you next time." And he leaves. And as he walks out, I happen to look down on the floor where his chair was, and there was a roach, a cigarette, a marijuana roach about this big on the floor where
Uh-oh.
Eddie was seated. And here he had just got done being on the radio and telling everybody, "Oh yeah, my life is great
I'm
and
clean.
clean
I'm
and sober."
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? The point of this story is that weed really wasn't all that good.
You'd think you could have had a little bit better. Well, and my closest connection to him was we had a cabin at Clear Lake, and on the other side of Clear Lake was an entertainment venue. At the time, it was called Canocti Harbor Inn,
I remember.
and it was a small venue. It probably seated, I don't know, 100 people. But when we were up one weekend at the cabin, Eddie Money was at Canocti Harbor.
Uh-huh.
And so we took our boat across there. We docked it. We didn't have tickets, but it's such a small venue. We stood outside and could hear it very, very clearly. And it was, man, this was really at the height of his popularity. Yet he's playing for, I'm sure they paid him top dollar regardless,
Yeah.
because it was an expensive venue. But he was playing a small little venue, and maybe he enjoyed doing small venues. I'm not really sure, but that was probably as close as I had got to Eddie Money. Um, and he was, like I said, what was the one song you just mentioned? It,
Not 2 tickets to paradise.
no. God dang, it really showed off his voice. His voice was,
Take Me Home Tonight.
there you go, yeah. Just a tiny bit gravelly, But really just a once in a lifetime voice.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, there you go, Sacramento,
Yep.
and the rest of the world. Very sorry that we lost him.
Yep.
So going on in the chat room right now is to talk about whether or not Forrest went to college. Um, and one of the comments from Sakar says pilots need to score in the top 2% of aptitude tests. Forrest Fenn had plenty of education. I'm not sure. I think he's the type of guy that probably went for a few days and said, "This ain't for me." I think most of his learning came from what he read. And I think he is the fact that he writes so much for the everyday man
Right.
that I think that he's learned from some of the greats like J.D. Salinger and those. So, I, you know,
Well, and I'm also not sure that in 1972-ish, when he was flying, whether they were the same standards for pilots as they are now.
that's a good point.
So I know now, yeah, you have to be, I believe it's even lieutenant and above to fly. So back then, I think if you showed an interest in it and you weren't afraid of, getting shot down or
Mhm.
whatever else could happen, ah, we're going to show you how to fly.
The smartest people in the world aren't always college graduates.
Right.
I think we've seen, some very successful people who did not attend a college per se. Um, is the poem metaphoric like music? Hmm, that's an interesting question. Um, last Sunday we played a song that was done by one of our viewers. Uh, he put music to the poem,
Right.
and so in that sense, I would say, yeah, I think so. It fits. Take it in the canyon down in the valley, uh, down in the valley, valley so low. Yeah, great tune.
Mhm.
Maybe not a whole lot of college, maybe only 2 years at junior college, but military probably got him learned plenty.
Yeah. Yes.
Good English.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, um, yeah, there's another one, Davio. Warm waters halt. Oh, it could mean cool water. I was thinking about that just the other day. It was funny too because I was in the shower.
Did you run out of warm water?
No,
No?
I
You
didn't,
had plenty
but
of
I
warm
was
water.
thinking about it.
Somebody flushed the toilet?
That happens in my house all the time. All the time. Yeah, it's so speculative, this poem and each one of the clues. And when the very first clue is warm waters halt, you know, there could be 100,000 places. So, as far as statistics, your chances of getting, and he says if you have the first clue right, you're going to walk right to it.
Yeah.
Uh, and so that's how important it is, yet how astronomical the odds are.
And I mean, in watching all these different chats that I've been, stalking or hoeing around,
Right, hoeing around.
um, there's no consensus of what that first clue is. And again, is it literal where warm waters halt? Or does it mean something else? Does it stand for something?
Well, I think that Jason was talking about this recently, and maybe it's not a temperature.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a feeling.
I
Think
mean,
about it.
it's boy, and again, you can't go anywhere until you've got that. If you don't have the first one right, the rest of it's wrong.
Hmm.
So, man, that's got to be the toughest part of this whole thing right now.
Hmm.
So,
Literally.
yeah, it is. It's pretty ambiguous.
I think so too.
So,
All right. Well, Any other questions or topics that you'd like to bring up? We are trying to pay some attention to our chat room today as best we can. So
Hooley's saying that a recent article said that he was in college for at least 2 years.
mhm.
So,
Jason says, "Don't listen to my show. I have no idea what I talk about." Well, we enjoy it.
yeah.
You know, people always say to me, "Oh, I love your show." I always go, "Oh, you're the one."
Thank you. Yeah. Please don't stop viewing. We need you.
Yeah, we do. Literal, and it has nothing to do with cool water. Literal makes everything very ambiguous. Well, that's a good point. But that applies to the whole poem as well.
Right.
And you know what it is? This whole world revolves around you and your interpretations of things, how you see things. That's what shapes your world. And when you have a clue as vague as the first, you know, I mean, you have to take into consideration 100,000 different things. It's just, I don't, everybody always says I have the first clue. Yeah, I don't think you do.
You know what? I mean, it may as well say someplace on the side of the road that I stopped to pee one time. Because if you don't know, I mean, I can't even tell you all the places that I've stopped to pee on the side of the road before.
It
So,
sounds to me like you have a problem.
yeah, I got a
You
little
should see
bladder
your
issue.
doctor.
But and so if you don't have the same set of knowledge that Forrest has, you don't that clue could mean a frickin' million different things.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I can tell you right now, I looked at some weather forecasts for 3 out of the 4 search states, and I can tell you that your window of opportunity searchers and lead searchers is going to slam shut a little earlier this year.
Yeah.
You've heard of global warming. No, we're actually going to have a more of a snow-filled winter, and early this year is what's forecast for 3 of the states out of the 4.
Is that based on the Groundhog Day?
Yes, it is the movie, not the groundhog itself. Um, that makes it possible to most of the chase from a laptop. Well, anybody that's been boots on the ground can tell you that that's not true. It's one thing to be looking at Google Maps, and it's another thing to actually be walking. You don't see the elevations and the steepness. There are a few people, even old Bill Gorman had a post yesterday in the Fen Treasure page about how he's an old guy who has boots on the ground still, and I'm sure he knows that the weather is going to be moving in very soon.
Yeah.
And so if you planned on having a boots on the ground mission in the next 30 to 45 days,
Better get it rolling
Yeah.
sooner rather than later.
I think it would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Otherwise, guess what, folks? It would make most sense that it will not be found again before the end of this year.
Yeah.
So that means the old rumor mill starts up again, and everybody gets to claim that they're the lead searcher, that they have the specific solve to all the clues, and we're going to go through that all over again.
Well, I'm not even sure why anybody's looking anymore because the man who found the treasure contacted us.
You want to talk about that? You brought it up, Ronnie. You know what? We were in contact with this person
Oh.
4 or 5 times a day for about a week.
Or maybe 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And guess what? We haven't heard from him in.
Been on radio silence.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because he was taking the treasure in to have it appraised.
Right.
It was at an auction house.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, guess what? The strange thing is, I don't know. We've talked about this briefly before, but I'll bring it up again. He sent us a picture
Right.
of the treasure,
Mm-hmm.
the open treasure chest.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went through, and I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but you can take a picture that somebody sends you and you can run it through Google and you can find similar pictures on Google. It'll search the parameters and it'll find similar pictures. Well, I didn't find a similar picture. I found the exact picture
Yeah.
and it was on a Forest Fen treasure hunting site. And allegedly, it really was a picture of the treasure chest that Forrest had taken. But after he took the picture, he removed the watches. There were some
Right.
gold watches in there that he removed because it was going to be slightly exposed to elements,
Wouldn't stand the test of time.
and so the watches would not have made it through that.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is another kind of a neat thing, leads me to believe that A, the chest isn't waterproof, and B, it is in some place where elements are going to possibly, you know, do it some harm. So anyway, and of course when we mentioned that little tidbit to him that, oh, we found your picture, and by the way, there's no watches in there, he kind of took another very silent stance.
Yeah.
So we're still,
And I still, honest to God, Ronnie, I still think about that from time to time about how what does one get out of doing that? Saying, I have the treasure.
right.
You know, I want to have a verbal agreement with you, and then lies about the picture that he sent us,
Yeah.
which is in complete violation of any verbal agreement.
Yeah.
So it's just, don't pull that crap with us. You know, we don't have time for it. We would love to tell the story of the person who finds the treasure.
Oh yeah. I
Um,
hope it's somebody that's in the room right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a lead searcher? Let's talk about that for a bit. Is there a lead searcher? Honestly, no. It's a oxymoron.
Right. Well, and I don't see the purpose of having a lead searcher, um, because nobody shares information out there.
Right.
If the lead searcher was sharing information with every other searcher, then you could say, I'm the lead searcher and I'm in charge of this search and I'm making sure that we're all working from the same script. There's nobody out there like that.
Right.
Everybody's working from a different set of parameters, searching in lots of different areas. Um,
Here's the way I see it. There are searchers, and then there are boots on the ground searchers.
yeah,
Above this, there's nothing. Above this is, I found the treasure. It's right here.
yeah,
Okay. So the difference between searcher and lead searcher, this area here, this person who thinks they're up here has nothing to say about this person down here because neither one of those two people has found the treasure. Neither one of those two people's solve is worthy because it hasn't developed or brought forth the treasure. So really what happens is this.
yeah,
Everybody's even in this until somebody goes up here.
yeah. Like,
I
oh,
hope I laid that out well.
look what I found. Well, your hands might go off the screen. I'm
No,
not
your
sure.
screen is
I
too
know I've
low
got it
down
down
there.
so I can see the chat.
There you go. See, look, there are my hands. And you'll notice maybe they'll go back in front of the no, look, I'm avoiding it now. Yeah, see what happens. We've got that right too this week.
Yeah,
How about that?
Yeah.
Uh, I am lead, says Dev JB. You know, I am the lead searcher. Lead like a dull bullet. Lead,
Lead.
searcher.
Yeah,
Okay.
lead searcher.
Jimmy Fast. One guy thinks he is. LOL. Yeah, gee, I wonder who that might
Yeah.
be. Let's see. Well, lead.
Lead. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, we're all caught up.
Awesome.
Again, I don't see any particular reason for there has to be a lead searcher. Um,
That once again, that's a societal thing where subcultures, the people within, feel that somebody has to be more dominant than another. It's man. That's what man does.
if I can compare it to something absolutely literal, I've been on a couple not so much search and rescue missions, but just search missions where we were looking for somebody. So in that case, you have a lead searcher and he's directing people. We do grid searches when we're looking for somebody like that. He's directing people to areas because we don't want a lot of overlapping, but we also don't want areas being missed. And so everybody has to be coordinated. And you know what? Possibly, if there was an actual lead searcher that was directing people to different grids, you might find this damn treasure. But you've got a lot of people searching in the same areas and overlapping the same pieces of ground. And as long as there's that, chances are slim. And
Paul.
oh,
Take that one, Ronnie.
let's see. What would you do? What would you both do with the chest if you found it?
I think we have to split it.
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's only fair. I mean, we do everything as a duo.
Yeah.
So I'd say we just split it right down the middle. But what would you do with your half? Let's say let's just go conservative and say $3 million.
All right.
So $1.5 million for each of us. After taxes, that's about $750,000.
I think we owe Jason about 500,000.
Yeah. Sasha?
Yes. Jason will take care of Sasha.
Oh, yeah, that's his business.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'd probably toss her a couple 100,000 anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. We're so content here where we are. I don't know. I probably would move out of California. I would probably move to a state that's, I don't know, not so crazy as California.
You use the word crazy.
It is crazy.
Okay.
We have some crazy politicians here, and um, I don't know. There's just a lot of there's. I could be happy pretty much anywhere. I know my in-laws are looking to move. We would probably stay wherever they end up. We would be near them. I also want to be near my daughter though. She's about ready to start a family. They're in Japan. Actually, they're probably on their plane right now, coming home back to San Francisco. But
Where it's tomorrow already, right?
right, yeah. Well, they're 14 hours ahead, so when they get home, they've gone back in time. They've actually gotten younger.
That'd be great movie title, I would think.
Back in time.
Yeah.
Back to the future.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. So,
It wouldn't be life changing for me. I'll just put it that way.
well, the first thing I would do is I would immediately retire.
Yeah. You
Um,
wouldn't buy a new car first
I, I probably would.
because you don't want to drive up to your work
All right.
in a brand spanking new car
Yeah.
and say later, bitches.
I think I might get a Tesla.
Ooh yeah,
I think I'd like to do that.
yeah.
But really, the first thing I would do is, with $750,000, would be get new shoestrings for my tennis shoes. They really need them right now.
That's important. I noticed you got well. You're wearing
Yes.
slippers with no
The
tennis.
slip-ons.
With
Yeah.
no.
They're my rock and roll slippers, Ronnie.
They're nice.
You know, when we play live music, I never wear shoes. You
I've
ever notice
noticed
that? Yeah.
I have a
I don't know why.
picture when we played at Mick's mansion.
Oh, yeah.
You were barefoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yep.
And I have some ugly feet, I tell you what. Okay, so let's see. So shoestrings for my shoes. And then maybe a Slim Jim. I don't want to spend it all.
Which is the number one gas station food, by the way.
Okay.
Thank you. Uh, let's see.
Dev B says he has a lot of wonderful wood shop and land management office friends that he take out for a barbecue. Hey, you know what? That's what we should do, Ronnie.
Do a big barbecue.
For all of the viewers.
Yeah.
Of course, we're never going to find the treasure, at least not from here.
You never know.
Rick Clemenson. Subject change. Lou, sorry I missed your show yesterday, my radio show.
Oh yeah.
Had a rough week, slept in late. No problem. I did too.
He wants to know how the new studio was.
Well, it's beautiful. I'll take some pictures next Saturday. I have this thing where I'm not really good with change, And we've already changed radio stations twice with the one that I'm with now, and this is the third time, I think.
Well, you keep finding them, so
They keep moving.
they keep moving, but you keep finding them.
I put a GPS on them on the radio station. So we moved into what appears to be a brand new building. Couldn't be more than a year old. And we're on the second floor,
Ooh.
and the broadcast studio looks out over the parking lot, but there's like a million trees. There's some train tracks that go by there.
Nice.
It's very quiet, very peaceful.
Except when the train's going by.
Except when the train goes by, and I could hear that in my headphones yesterday. Also, if you most of the people in that studio are right behind, the control board. Me, I have a producer that does that. Although I'm perfectly capable, it's just difficult doing a talk show
Right.
without having a screener or a person running the board or music, whatever. So that's what I choose. And my producer in my show, it does play a pretty integral part of the show too. So he looks out over it all. I'm crammed in a little corner.
As you should be.
As I should be. Big guy, little corner. Yesterday I had the door open so I could actually have my arm out. And that's when we could hear everything, when that door was open. So
if you want to see how hectic it can be when you're doing something live and you're trying to do several things at once,
right.
You need to watch one of Jason's live chats.
Yeah.
Because he's watching lab streams and chat, and then he's trying to stay on topic, but then he's watching the chat more, and then lab streams. He's drawn in 18 different directions,
wow.
and he keeps up with it pretty flippin' well.
Oh,
so maybe you need to hire him as your
producer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think he's geographically challenged to take that job.
Yeah.
Although it's once a week. No big deal. You can drive out here for that
because the pay's got to be amazing. It'd be worth it for him to fly out here to do that for 1 hour.
It's a wage. It's not quite minimum.
Not quite a living wage.
No. Okay, let's see. Looks like I would spend half on wine, women, and song. I would just waste the other half.
That's that's a joke. What would you do if you won the lottery? Spend 30% on hookers, 30% on booze, and then I just waste the other third.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so let me see. I think I have, I'll go here and I have some comments that I wanted to get to. Here's an older comment from one of our videos. Men should sit down to pee. Pleiades says yesterday, the older you get, the less you pee, the more health problems you'll get. I'm quite the opposite. Sit down. Also, drinking your pee is healthy. Read the therapy, urine therapy. I was just reading a story about that the other day. That is completely the opposite of what you're saying.
I will tell you that urine is sterile. However, and you know what? I also read a thing because somebody else has talked about this before. They're saying, hey, if you're in the frickin' desert and you're dying of thirst, drink your pee. Well, there's two problems with that. One is you need to drink to pee. I've gone days when I'm working in patrol and I'm out in the frickin' elements. I might go 8 hours without peeing because you're losing all your fluids through sweat. There's nothing left to pee in there. So, but you'd have to drink so much, and then also it's so concentrated, you'd have a hard time drinking it and getting past the smell, I think. You'll notice that if you don't drink much during the day, your urine is a very dark yellow color, which it shouldn't be. It should be just a yellow tint to it. So
it's a byproduct of your body, my friends.
Yeah.
It's what your body wants to get rid of.
Yeah. So
okay. All right. This is the one I wanted to get to. I told the missus, this is our Signs You're Smarter Than Average show.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I told the missus this morning that I would be leaving for boots on the ground after work. When I got home, the little woman had left a note on the refrigerator. It's not working. I just can't take it anymore. I've gone to stay at my mom's. So I opened the fridge. The light came on, and the beer was cold. Not sure what she was talking about.
I think it's still working.
Yeah,
Yes, you
it
better
sounds like
recheck
me.
it. Yeah. That's from Rapala, I believe, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Rapala 67.
Yeah, he leaves some pretty classic
Um,
comments. Thank you, Rapala.
don't get. Okay, William Sparks writes, uh, this goes back to our Solve Explained episode, which was a very popular show.
Okay.
Why does Forrest Fenn say stuff like, it ain't who they think you are, it's who you make them think you are? And don't get alligators mad before you cross, and heard about respect and disrespect. Well, I think he is a man who has acquired a lot of cute sayings like that over the years. And I'll bet that when he hears one that's pertinent to the chase, he likes to use it. Maybe even as a way to change direction or to change topic or to get you thinking another way. Might I just say, not everything he says is a clue.
No.
Okay, you gotta imagine he probably gets tired of it.
And if I think honestly, because of some of the emails we've received from him, I think that 99% of what he says is not a clue.
Right.
He's concerned about dropping too many clues. And so I think he filters himself pretty well to avoid leaving additional Easter eggs out there.
He said as much as he wants to say.
He said all he feels is needs to be said.
Davio22 says he calls his teacher an old bat, but really his father said it. Exactly. See, he picked up these sayings along the way. As you get older, you find that sayings that you once used in your life as a younger person, they may or may not even apply anymore, but younger people have never heard them before. So to a new person, a young person, it's probably a new thing. It's like we always try to use words like bamboozle or what's the other one we use?
Tomfoolery.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
Hijinks. That sort of thing. So, you pick up these things along the way, but they're not all meant to be clues.
No.
Self-esteem, confusion, left alone, losing friendship or feelings of isolation, sudden turmoil, comfort ends. That's something to think about. Not for very long, but think about it.
You know what? I think we probably need to get to our Mantasy Draft
okay.
here.
All right, let's do that.
Because we're kind of nearing the end.
Let's explain how this works. Each week we find a topic and we draft items from that topic, almost like a fantasy football draft or baseball or basketball, whatever it might be.
Yep.
And the way we determine who goes first is by Rochambeau.
Right.
And we will do that. The person who goes first gets the first pick, but then the second person gets pick 2 and pick 3.
Right.
Now you know. Here we go.
Oh.
Woo! Damn it.
2 weeks in a row.
All right, Ronnie.
Thank you.
Our topic today is Halloween candy. All right?
Okay.
Halloween candy.
So right off, and I have not prepared for this at all.
Okay.
I was not aware what the topic was going to be until 45 minutes ago.
Right.
But I happen to know what the number one candy, at least in the United States, is.
Okay.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
All right.
For the win.
Okay, so Ronnie is going to come out with his running back pick and pick Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Yep.
And that will leave me with the next 2 picks. That's a solid pick.
Thank you. You're right.
Okay, got you, Deb B. You guys said Deb JB. All right, so I am going to go with a classic, one that is probably older than you or me.
Oh, dang.
Been sold that long, and I'm going to go Hershey's with almonds as my number 1 pick.
Which was also one of your gas station picks. I'm seeing a trend here.
Yep.
I know what you get you for your birthday now.
Oh, please. I would love that. And if it's cold, like from the freezer, you're killing me, Smalls.
You know what I like just a little bit better?
What?
I like it warm. I like it.
Oh,
I like
melty.
it. Yeah, a little melty.
Those Reese's peanut butter cups are awesome frozen too.
Yeah, see, I'm still a little bit opposite. All right.
Okay, all
So
right. So there we go.
that was your first round pick.
Now on my next pick, I've got a toss up between two, and since you only got one to go, I'm gonna go with $100,000 bar
That is a good one.
for the win.
Yeah.
That's got your chewy caramel in it. It's got your rice Krispies in it,
Yeah.
and it's got your chocolate. It comes in two pieces. It's hard to beat that candy. I tell you what. Okay, Ronnie. So you have Reese's peanut butter cups. I have Hershey's with almonds and $100,000 bar.
Okay.
There are several huge candy bars still left on the table.
Okay. So for my
Jimmy Fast says Necco wafers.
those are good,
Jimmy Fast says hot tamales.
and those are better.
Okay.
And he also says Milky Way, but I'm going with they do more advertising than anybody.
Mhm.
Snickers,
Well, I figured you would take that.
Snickers bar.
I figured you would take that.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see. You have Reese's peanut butter cup. You have
Snickers bar.
Snickers bar, and now you have one more pick.
I see it right there.
Is that the one?
Kit Kat.
Okay.
So Jason, you and I, we are thinking alike
Mhm.
because I honestly was almost thinking Kit Kat would be my quarterback, my
Give me a
second
break.
round. Yeah,
Give me a
exactly.
break.
So I think I picked the two there that do honestly, I don't think anybody advertises more than Reese's peanut butter cups, Kit Kat, and Snickers. I don't think there's more advertisement out there for any candy.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make my last pick,
Okay.
and it's strong.
Oh,
It's strong.
Peeps.
No, no one has mentioned this.
Okay.
Hooli says Sour Patch Kids, Butterfingers. Butterfingers hurt my teeth too much.
Butterfingers.
Special dark Hershey's, I think.
Hmm.
That's a Halloween candy.
Gummy bears.
Three Musketeers, gummy bears.
Yeah.
Those are all good. I'm taking
Yeah.
these all into consideration before I make my last pick. Alan K says Snickers, Skittles, and candy corn. I love me some Skittles.
But he said candy corn. Can we block him
Yeah,
somehow?
I think we can. Hold on. Alan K, you're blocked, okay? I don't feel like blocking you. No, you know what? Just stay.
Never
You're fine.
mention candy corn in this room again.
Please. Okay, so I don't know. I think this is a pretty strong one, Ronnie.
Okay.
We got to wrap up here.
Yeah.
Nestle's Crunch.
That is good.
All
That is
right,
good.
let's review. Ronnie, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. You had Snickers
and Kit Kat.
and Kit Kat. Those are strong, man.
Those are all good.
But I tell you what, I'm the underdog here. I've got Hershey's with almonds. I've got the $100,000 bar.
Yep.
I've been eating those since I was 8 years old.
Yep.
And I have a dog.
That's Brandy. Brandy,
That
shut
means
up.
our time is up, friends. What's my last pick again? Oh, Nestle's Crunch Bar.
Nestle's Crunch.
All right,
yeah.
now who
No,
wins?
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nestle's Crunch.
Who wins between the two of us? We'll put them up on our website and you can vote there. menaresosmart.com. Okay.
You know what? Now there's two. I just want to do this. You played Little League baseball.
Oh yeah, much.
Did you get a coupon at the end of the game where you
For
could
the
take
snow
it-
cone?
Well, ours we could take it to the snack bar.
Uh-huh.
You get a snow cone or a candy bar.
Oh, okay.
And snow cone would be worth like 0 compared to a candy bar.
Uh-huh.
You remember Big Hunk? Big Hunk
Yes.
candy bar?
That was a chewy.
Yes. And
Mhm.
what about Look? They had a Look bar.
Was that in a red package?
Yes.
I remember that.
I've not seen those in ages.
No, I looked for them the
Neither
other
one of
day.
them.
I looked for one.
Oh my God, I would take either one of those right now in a heartbeat.
Ronnie wins this week. Anananan says Ronnie.
Yep. Thank you.
Ronnie, but the dog for sure.
That's a solid bark. I'm telling you, she's got a good bark.
This is not so much a soundproof studio as a garage.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. I'm really surprised we didn't hear blowers this morning. We usually get that.
Yeah, they did that yesterday. I had pulled my Corvette out to do a little work on my garage door opener.
Uh-huh.
And I just washed my car because we went to Cars and Coffee.
Mhm.
And then the gardeners are here and I hear the blower. I'm like, No!
Slow motion.
I raised the garage door and I ran out as fast as I could, but it looked like slow motion.
Yeah,
And I stopped him before he blew the driveway and I pulled my Corvette in.
thank goodness.
Yeah, I almost got dust on it,
All
which
right.
would have been awful.
You guys, thank you so much for spending time with us today. We really, really do appreciate it. At the beginning of the show, we told you that this was going to be a show about all kinds of different things. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today was the Felicity Huffman case.
Oh, yep.
And you know what? I don't care how long we are. I'm gonna say how I feel on this. Here's how I feel on this, people. Before we get out of here,
And she's getting off with a slap on the wrist.
she's getting off with a 14-day sentence. First of all, I hope she rots in prison. Probably won't happen in 14 days, though.
Probably not.
Okay.
Unless she's killed, but
Right.
you know.
Well, here's what I think should have happened. I think she should have paid $100,000 in restitution, and I believe that should be set up for a fund for people to go to college who couldn't necessarily afford it, and there would be a criteria around that, so there's no influence by the state. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say that a scholarship should be set up, and I think she should fund that every single year. I think that she should have got a whole year's probation, and I also think that oh crap, what was it? Community service.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think she should have gotten a lot more community service. That is not fun to have to do.
Right.
And you know, doing personal appearances is not the same thing
No.
as
Community service.
slap on the wrist. That's
Yeah.
all that was, and I think it should have been much more.
I have some friends that were in charge of our community service for our department, and we have them out at cemeteries, fixing sprinkler pipes, um, using the weed eater over headstones. They're cleaning up, and you know what? I think that's a great way to have to spend your community service. And I'll tell you one thing my wife felt was that she should have to set up a scholarship fund, certainly not in her name, but and it should be for military for military children. And I think that that's a great use of somebody who had so much money that no big deal. We can just get our kid into whatever school we want him to get into.
What if it had been me or you?
Oh, we'd be well. We'll see how the rest of it works out because
With Lori
there's
Laughlin.
she may be in for a little bit more trouble because
Well,
she's not copping to it.
Right. She
So
didn't plead guilty.
right, and there are still I don't know 15 or so defendants,
Yeah, parents.
parents slash defendants. So we'll see what happens to the rest of them.
Yeah.
I think that Lori Laughlin is in for a little more time if she's found guilty. You know what? It's a jury, by of your peers. Maybe they'll find her innocent. They'll take her celebrity status and say, yeah, she gets a free pass, which I hope doesn't happen. But
Aunt Becky, you should be ashamed of yourself.
stranger things have happened in a jury trial.
All right, we got that out. We got to get out of here now. We don't want to be one of those shows that goes 4 hours,
Right.
although we've got plenty to say.
And we also don't want to be live for 2 minutes after we think we're off.
Right. Let's see if we can time that out right this time.
You know what? I don't know who it was last week that said because we were on air for probably a full minute after we kind of thought we were ended.
Right.
And somebody said, well, this makes up for all the times where they ended like that. So we're going to at least get our goodbyes in.
I got this end stream button that I click, and I assume when I click end, it's the end.
Right.
Evidently, it's not.
Not always 100%.
So I'll have to watch this delay
Yeah.
and see if I can work it out that way. All right, Ronnie, anything you want to say before we get out?
You know what? I think I've said it all.
All right, you can vote for us once again on our Mantasy picks on our website, mentorsosmart.com.
I think I got this
If
again.
you're viewing this week, and this is the first time you've seen Sunday Morning Mass and you've had a good time, please don't be afraid to subscribe to our channel. We would enjoy that. Jason, I sent an email to, okay, I'll check it out right after the show. Will do. Thank you again to Jason and to Sasha.
Wow.
We sure do appreciate what you did for us this morning. We're sorry that there are so many of those almost attempts at going live. I think this email will probably sort things out for me.
Yep.
Okay, so thank you once again on behalf of Ronnie and myself, and we hope that you have a beautiful and blessed Sunday. Tell your friends about our show. I'm Lou Gallagher.
Corvette Ronnie.
We'll see you on the next Men Are So Smart.
Huh? Hmm? Huh? Well, let's see. Are we live? Or is it Memorex?
Sunday. Tell your friends about our show. I'm Lou Gallagher.
Corvette Ronnie.
We'll see you on the next Men Are So Smart. End stream.